So we've done Zeus. We've done Hera. It's now time to do one of their children. And since it's March, named after the Roman god of war, Mars, it's only fitting that we do the Greek counterpart, the god of embarrassment, the god of war, Ares. Sorry for that little slip of the tongue there, but with Ares being the god of war, courage, bravery, bloodlust, all those things, you would think that he would be some big, mighty person, like unstoppable, especially how he's depicted nowadays in like video games and movies and stuff. But if you actually look at the stories surrounding Ares, you'll soon find out that in Greek mythology, Ares was hardly in any stories to begin with, and the ones he was in, they usually end in failure and embarrassment. For example, his love affair with Aphrodite, whose husband Hephaestus found out what was going on, and so he devised a trap where he laid an invisible net and captured them in the act, and then he dragged them out for all the rest of the gods to witness what they were doing and ridicule them and everything. Or there's the fact that during the Trojan War, Aphrodite asked Ares to side with the Trojans, who ultimately lost, thanks to his sister Athena helping the Greeks. And that's not the only time he lost to Athena. And now that I think about it, he also lost a couple times to Heracles. So, I don't know, he's a big loser, I guess. There's even a tale of him getting captured by two giants inside a big brass urn. And he was trapped in there for 13 months, kicking and screaming. And the only way he got out was, depending what story you follow, it was either Hermes or, what's that other one? Artemis came to his rescue. And that's the only way he escaped. So yeah, Ares just often made snap judgments where it usually ended up in his downfall. But through all those stories, one thing is for sure, his passion was for war, fighting. He was always in the thick of battle. So this month's mead, dedicated to Ares, we are going to call Ares Bloodlust.
This was Ares, the god of war.
For this mead, we will be using 3.5 pounds of wildflower honey, a gallon of water. We will also be using 3.5 pounds of blood oranges, a 1/4 ounce of thyme, 1 jalapeno, bread yeast, and a upfront nutrient addition. That's right, you heard me. We will be using bread yeast for this mead. Why? Well, while we're getting this all together, I'll explain why I use these ingredients for this god, the symbolisms and everything. First, I'm going to add my gallon of water into my honey, and I'm going to give that a really good mix just to mix in a lot of air. All right, so the water and the honey's mixed in. I took a gravity reading, and it's sitting at 1.115, which, if the yeast was going to eat all those sugars, it should bring me to about 15%, which is kind of what I got planned for this mead. So that's perfect. So I'm just going to pour this in. And now, in this bag here, I have blood oranges. I really love blood oranges. The flavor of them is really good, I find. And if you're not sure what blood oranges are, well, they're just oranges. As you can see, they're really, really red. And the juice will be red. So obviously that's pretty self-explanatory. Blood, oranges for the blood. Now for the courage, being the god of courage, and bravery, we're going to use thyme, the herb, dried herb thyme. So I have here a 1/4 ounce. So I'm just going to pour this on top. And for that fiery passion, I have to go with the jalapeno. I'm only going to do one. In my experience with using jalapenos, 2 is just a little bit too hot for me. So this time I'm going to go with 1. A lot of people worry about using peppers just because they find they get a vegetal taste afterwards. I've never had that experience. Every time I've used jalapenos in my meads, they've just been really over the top spicy. But we're just going to do 1, and I'm hoping the sweetness of this and these blood oranges will kind of cover that taste. I also should mention blood oranges. I kind of find they have like a orangey grapefruit taste. They have a nice tang to them. So I really have a feeling this stuff's going to actually turn out really well. But I'm going to just cut up this jalapeno real quick and I'll be right back. So that's pretty much everything that's going to go into this. But there's also the situation with the yeast that I chose and the nutrient schedule that I'm going to do. I'm going to add right away 1 teaspoon of fermento, 1/2 teaspoon ferment K, and 1/4 teaspoon potassium carbonate. And that's all I'm going to do. There's not going to be any staggered nutrients, nothing like that. Also, for the yeast, I'm going to add about 2.5 grams of bread yeast. And the reason for this, I have used bread yeast in meads before. The first time I ever made my witch's brew mead, I used bread yeast with it. I've found with bread yeast, it can usually hit about 9 or 10%, and then it's kind of craps out. I have gotten it to about 11% once, but that's about it. With this much honey in here, with a starting gravity of 1.115, it's probably going to be way too much for this bread yeast to handle, and I'm assuming it's going to just crap out before it even reaches final gravity. It won't go dry. This is to symbolize the humiliation that Ares suffered a lot of. You know, he had all this power and all this stuff, but like most of the gods didn't even like him. They found him too hot-headed and all these things. So we're going to use this yeast with a lower tolerance. So it does have the potential. It has the potential to hit 15%, but I'm assuming Ares is going to fall short. Again, the humiliation. And that's also why we're not going to be staggering our nutrients, because I'm not going to really push these yeast too much. They're going to get a fast start with the nutrients that I'm going to be adding, which is just like Ares. He will just plunge right into battle, and then he ends up losing. So I'm going to add our nutrients and the yeast. I'm going to give this a really good stir again, get everything mixed in, and then I'll add my fruit, and we'll be right back. All right, I'm just going to add the fruit now. It's all in my mesh bag. And there we have it, Ares Bloodlust. All I have to do now is add my lid and my airlock on there, and I'll just go put it off to the side. I'm not even going to bother doing anything with it until such a time as I need to rack it. Like once they see that yeast is dead. I will keep taking gravity readings just to make sure things are progressing along, but I'm not going to add anything. This is it. So while I'm doing this, I also just want to note that I also have another hobby besides mead making, and that is writing. I've been working super hard the last year, well, all of last year, and I am super excited to announce that I will be self-publishing a book very soon. It actually comes out March 29th. So for those of you that are interested in fantasy books and have a love for like dragons and vampires and stuff, here's a quick little clip of my cover reveal. And yeah, if you're so inclined, check it out on Amazon. that's done. I hope you guys enjoyed that little clip. I hope it interests you. If you have any questions or comments, let us know down in the comments below. Also, down below, if you look in the description of the video, you'll find there's a link to our Discord channel where there's an awesome community of people there that we like to joke around and talk about anything, really. It's a great group there, so it'd be awesome if you guys went over there and joined the conversation. And that's it. I'm just going to go about cleaning up now. I hope you enjoyed today's video and the intentions and everything involved. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day and happy brewing.